Hey there and welcome to Dark Blue Nutrition. My name is Katie. I'm a registered dietitian and certified personal trainer. And today we're going to talk about the question, can you meal prep and eat intuitively? This question comes up a lot more often than I would think it would, but I honestly think it's a great question to ask because I think this topic is a lot more nuanced than some people think. To give a little background to intuitive eating is a set of principles where you ditch the diet mentality, you honor your hunger and fullness, you honor the foods that you love, and all foods fit. That's kind of a synopsis of intuitive eating in like a 5-second nutshell. But what people often get wrong about intuitive eating is that they think it's simply a hunger and fullness diet and that you just go crazy with abandon on donuts and Pop-Tarts and pizza and you never eat anything else. And that's like just so far from the truth. But unfortunately, intuitive eating kind of gets that reputation sometimes, but it's just not true. Intuitive eating, long story short, also encompasses things like gentle nutrition, which means you're honoring your health and wellness needs too. But can you meal prep and intuitive eat? I think yes, you can. And I'm going to share with you 3 tips on how you can do that so you can have some structure, but have it kind of like a flexible structure, nothing too rigid or diet-like. Let's talk about that. One of the big pros to meal planning and doing a little meal prep early in the week is that it can reduce stress and decision fatigue later in the week, which can help promote healthier choices later down the line when you're tired or you're just sick of making decisions like me. That is my biggest problem when it comes to healthy eating, is just being tired of making decisions. That's why I like HelloFresh and other meal delivery services, but that is a story for another time. Not sponsored by HelloFresh. Okay, so the first way that I think that you can meal plan and meal prep and still eat intuitively is to be flexible with your portion sizes. So one thing that I think would maybe not so much count as intuitive eating is if you are meal prepping and planning out every single portion of every single meal from now to next week. To me, that's not really intuitive eating because you aren't depending on your body's current hunger and fullness cues in the moment. So maybe Monday you are not that hungry and you have just like one portion of whatever you plan out, but then on Wednesday you do some extra strength training and you really need some extra food because your body burned a lot more that day. You need to have that flexibility in there built in so you can have a larger portion if you need it on Wednesday versus Monday. So that's just one example, but long story short, I think that you need to take into account how you're feeling in the moment and be flexible with portion sizes as you go along the week. So this could mean you prep things like chicken, rice, and maybe have things like bread and tortillas and different veggies that you chop up earlier in the week. And you have those things prepped, but you can pick out your portions and make your meals based on how you're feeling in the moment later on in the week. That I do think is still following more flexible guideline and considered eating intuitively. The next tip for meal prepping and eating intuitively is to not be afraid to modify recipes. So if you're in the health and fitness world and you follow people on Instagram, you follow people on YouTube, you follow people that talk about health and wellness, then most likely you're gonna see some recipes out there. And I think one way that you can loop in intuitive eating to maybe when you follow some person's meal plan, just because that helps you think of meal ideas during the week, I think that you can do that by being flexible with modifying recipes. I'll give you an example from my own experience. I really love the Tone It Up girls, and although they really don't post a whole lot of stuff anymore, I feel like I still enjoy some of their recipes from time to time. But what I've found is that their recipes are just far too low in carbohydrates. And so I may take some of their recipes and increase the carb content of the meal or snack or whatever they're offering because I kind of like some of their recipes, but again, they need more carbs. There's no doubt about it. So I kind of use that as a flexible structure where if I want to use a Tone It Up recipe, I will, but I will cater it to my own needs. And I do that in a lot of different recipes as well. And I don't feel any shame about doing so. So whether that's adding more carbs, protein, or fat to a recipe, I think modifying and being flexible with the recipe is super, super important. And speaking of meal plans, if you use meal plans to give yourself some structure to your day, I think it's important to honestly ask yourself, is this enough food for me, or is this being too restrictive? So if you are eating a meal plan and you are following your meal plan throughout the week and you're feeling like a rock star because you are sticking to those goals, but at the end of the day, you're hungry all the time, it's probably time for some healthy self-reflection to really ask yourself, okay, something's wrong here. I'm either not getting enough to eat calorie-wise, or I'm not getting enough carbs, protein, or fat in my diet to keep me full and satisfied all day long. So what can I do to, again, be flexible and modify this so I can use these recipes to guide me, but I'm not letting that be the end-all be-all of my food decisions. In my Mindful Muscles Academy, I do have 6 weeks worth of meal plans, and trust me, they are full of recipes that are well-rounded and balanced. So if you're interested in learning how to fuel your fitness goals using mindful eating, then I highly recommend checking out the Mindful Muscles Academy down below in the description. Long story short, I think meal guides and meal plans, especially from dietitian nutritionists and not from celebrities, can be a really good way to come up with food ideas and get an idea for what a balanced diet looks like. I don't think there's any shame in following meal plans as long as you do it in a flexible way. When we get too rigid or treat a meal plan as if it's just the end-all be-all of our existence, then that's when things can get a little bit hairy. So make sure to always be flexible no matter what meal plan or protocol you are following. And remember that everyone's a little bit different. So no one meal plan or meal guide is going to show you and everyone else on the planet exactly the perfect meal. That's just not how things work. Basically, no meal plan out there knows the perfect portion size for you. Only you know that. So take every meal plan with a grain of salt, and I think you'll have no problems eating intuitively while also having a little bit of flexible structure. Again, I want to encourage you, if you are someone who is interested in mindful and intuitive eating and you want to learn how to fuel a fit and active lifestyle, then check out the Mindful Muscles Academy in the description box below. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and let me know in the comment section below what questions you'd like me to answer about mindful and intuitive eating in a future video. I'd love to chat more about this topic and help you have a healthier relationship with food while learning to practice gentle nutrition. All right, thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.